once again.
You can start the session.
So, only once again.
Hello.
Once again, my system is loading, right? Right? Okay. Hello, everyone. So, today we are going to see about nth roots of finity. Before that, do you want to see anybody? Different person who's played a major role in history, but we forgot about them. Shall we go and take a quick look on him?
జెబ్లో భారతదేశ స్వాతంత్ర్య పోరాటానికి మొదటి నిప్పురోగులలో ఆయన ఒకరు. అందరికీ నమస్కారం. చరిత్రలో తరచుగా మరుగున పడిపోయిన్ కానీ నిజంగా మర్చిపోకూడని ఒక పేరు గురించి ఈరోజు మాట్లాడుకుందాం. పి అలీ ఖాన్. మిన్బట్రేట్ జెబ్లో భారతదేశ స్వాతంత్ర్య పోరాటానికి మొదటి నిప్పురోగులలో ఆయన ఒకరు. ఆయన పాఠ్య పుస్తకాల్లో నిండు కానీ అది ఖచ్చితంగా మన హృదయాల్లో చోటు సంపాదించుకోవాలి. ఇది అహించుకోలి. పాట్నాలో ఒక సామాన్య పుస్తక బండర్. పుస్తకాలు బైండిక్లతో నిండిన ఒక సాధారణ జీవితం గడిపే ఒక మనిషి. బ్రిటిష్ వారి క్రూరత్వం ఆయన ఆత్మను కదిలించే వరకు తన దేశం సంకెడ్డలో ఉండటం చూసి పీర్ అలీ ఖాన్ నిశ్శబ్దంగా కానీ ధైర్యంగా ఒక నిర్ణయం తీసుకున్నారు. నేను కేవలం చూస్తూ కూర్చోను, నేను పోరాడతాను. ఆయన తన చిన్న పుస్తక దుకాణాన్ని ఒక రహస్య కేంద్రంగా మార్చారు. బ్రిటిష్ వారి కడ ముందే. అది కేవలం పుస్తకాల కోసం మాత్రమే కాదు, అది విప్లవకారులకు ఒక సమావేశస్థలంగా మారింది. అచ్ మరియు ధైర్యం చేతి నుండి చేతికి అందించబడే కేంద్రంగా మారింది. కరపత్రాలు మరియు రహస్య సందేశాల్లో దాగి ఉంది. తిరుగుబాటుదారులకు ప్రాణారంగా తన దుకాణాన్ని ఉపయోగించి ఆయన ప్రతిదీపనంగా పెట్టారు. ఆయన కారణంగా తిరుగుబాటు అగ్నిపాట్నా అంటా మరియు అంతకు మించి వ్యాపించింది. కానీ మనకు తెలిసినట్లుగా చరిత్ర తన వీరుల పట్ల ఎప్పుడూ సులభంగా ఉండదు. బ్రిటిష్ వారు క్రూరంగా ఉన్నారు మరియు జూలై 3 పీర్ అలీ ఖాన్ అరెస్టు చేయబడ్డారు. భయం మరియు నొప్పిని ఎహించుకోండి ఆశను అంచివేయాలని మాత్రమే కోరుకున్న సైనికులచే లాగబెట్టారు. ఆయనను చిత్రహింసలు పెట్టారు, కొట్టారు, విరిచేశారు, కానీ ఎప్పుడూ ఓడిపోలేదు. ఎంత నొప్పి కలిగించినా ఆయన ఒక్కొక్క స్నేహితుడిని కూడా మోసం చేయలేదు లేదా ఒక్క పేరును కూడా పెట్టలేదు. పీర్ అలీ ఖాన్ కు ఆశయానికి మరియు తన సహచరులకు విధేయత ఈ సంఖ్యల కన్నా లేదా కొరడా దెబ్బల కన్నా బలంగా ఉంది. జూలై 7 పాట్నా నడిబొడ్డున ఆయనను బహిరంగ ఉరితీశారు. తిరుగుబాటులో ఉరితీశారు. కానీ ఆయన త్యాగం ముగింపు కాదు, బదులుగా అది ఒక కొత్త ప్రారంభం. ఆయన స్థానంలో వేలాది మంది ఇతరులకు ఒక పిలుపు. ఆయన చివరి మాటలు ఇలా ఉన్నాయని ఖురాన్ చెబుతుంది: మీరు నన్ను ఉరితీయవచ్చు, నాలాంటి వేలాది మందిని ఉరితీయవచ్చు, కానీ మీరు మా స్వాతంత్ర్య స్వప్నాన్ని ఎప్పటికీ చంపలేరు. అది ఎంత శక్తివంతమైంది! ఒక మనిషి మరణాన్ని ఎదుర్కొని తల వంచడానికి నిరాకరించి ఒక దేశాన్ని ప్రేరేపించాడు. పీర్ అలీ ఖాన్ పేరు ప్రతి చరిత్ర పుస్తకంలో ఉండపోవచ్చు, కానీ ఆయన హర్యం మరియు త్యాగం మనం ఈరోజు అనుభవిస్తున్న ప్రతి స్వాతంత్ర్యంలో జీవిస్తున్నాయి. భారతదేశ స్వాతంత్ర్యం కేవలం కొందరు ప్రసిద్ధ విజేతలచే గెలబడలేదు. అది పీర్ ఖాన్ వంటి లేనన్ని అజ్ఞాత వీరుల రక్తం మరియు కలపై నిర్మించబడింది. వారిని గుర్తుంచుకుందాం, వారిని గుబురవిద్దాం, వారి స్ఫూర్తిని సజీవంగా ఉంచుదాం. శాంతితో విశ్రాంతి తీసుకోండి. పీర్ అలీ ఖాన్ మీక తరతరాలకు స్ఫూర్తినివ్వాలి. వందే మాతరం.
Hello, everyone. So I hope you. So I hope everybody is clear with today's hero. So I hope you all are get with it. So now, today we are going to see about what? Any guesses? Yes. Today we are going to see about nth root of unity, right? Right. Okay. Nth root of unity we are going to see. Before that, Nimi camera leno on cheyandi so that I can see all you very clear, right? Like so before we start our classes, we have two rules. Class lo two rules undayi. Eighty rules happy smile cheyali. And the second one is loud ga answer cheyali. Even if the answer is wrong, nothing with that. Have to answer loudly, right? Right. Okay. So kindly turn on your cameras so that I can see whether you can understand the topic or not, or I have to uh, convey it once more time so that if you on the camera, I can get all those things from your vision, right? Right. Kindly turn on your cameras. Once again, it's loading. Okay. What is today's topic? And and who? So what is today's topic? It is nth root of unity, right? Right. Okay. So our today's topic is nth roots of unity. So Adiyenti, nth root of unity. Example, we are going to take nth root for unity. Unity means what? Unity means what? Unity means one, right? One. So what we are going to do? We are going to do is we are going to take the nth root of unity. Unity means one. Nth root of that means 1 power 1 by n. Right? Right. So we have to be clear with that. This topic, where we see these topics, these topic, ekkada unnaru in our class textbook? It comes under complex number, right? Right. So these also must be a complex number. Are they? Right. So to solve this, we should follow 4 working rules. ఏంటి 4 working rules తో follow చేయన్నారు. Okay. Right. So we have to follow 4 working rules. What are the working rules? First one. When we have to follow these working rules, then fraction comes in a power. See, here one is the base. In the power of a base, there is a fraction, right? It is 1 by n. 1 by n is a fraction. Whenever a fraction comes in a power of a complex number, we should follow these 4 working rules. Shall we start? What is the first working rules? Write the complex number in polar form. So write in polar form. Right? So what we are going to do? We are going to find nth root of unity. Nth root of unity means what? Unity means 1. Nth root means 1 power 1 by n. Right? Right. To solve this, we have to follow 4 working rules. First one is write in polar form. Why should we write in polar form? Polar form lo write cheyali. The value does not change. right? Right. The meaning of a complex number doesn't change. So we have to write in polar form. Second, we have to add 2k pi to the angle or the argument, right? Argument. So we can write argument or angle, right? Why should we add 2k pi? See, because when you add 2k pi to an angle, the values remain changed. See, let me take a graph. So if we take this, okay, so we can write it as 30 degree, right? Right. So if you add 30 degree, if you add 2k pi to the 30 degree, is the angle's value change or not? Shall we check? Before that, we have to know what is k. K means NT. K is a constant, right? So its values varies from 0, 1, 2, and it goes on, right? Right. So for check this, we are going to substitute k equals 0, right? Right. So 2, 0, 5 plus 30 degree. What will come? 0 multiplied by anything will be 0. 0 plus 30 degree will be 0. So now the value doesn't change, right? Clear? So if k equals 1 means 2 multiplied by 1 multiplied by pi plus 30 degree. Pi means value and t. Pi means 180 degree, right? Right. So 2 into 180 degree plus 30 degree. So it will become 360 plus 30, 390 degree, right? Right. Shall we check with the angle? See, if it is a complete round, it will become 360, right? Right. So now again, what we have remaining? 30 degree. So it will be here only. So here also 390 degree. See, the 30 degree and 390 degree remains the same, right? Right. So if we have to draw a complete 390 degree means you have to draw like this. So up to this 360 degree, another 30 degree. So it will become 390 degree. So what we can conclude? So we can conclude adding 2k pi to an argument to any angle does not change the value of the angle. Right? Right. So this is the second rule. In the second rule, we have to add 2k pi to the angle. Right? Right. So we are moving to the third rule. So what is the third rule? De Morgan's theorem apply cheyali. Apply De Morgan's. So what is De Morgan? We all know De Morgan's means f cos theta plus I sin theta power n means we have to multiply the power to the angles, right? That is De Morgan. What we have to do? We have to multiply. Emi multiply cheyali power and the angle. We have to multiply power and the angle. What will come? Cos n theta plus I sin n theta. Clear? Clear ga arthamainda? Shall we move to the next step? What is the final step means? See, if now only we are going to apply the value of k. So the value of k starts from 0 and 1 and 2 and goes. So how till now, till which it has to goes up to n minus 1. Right? Right. So if we consider n equals 3, means n represents the number of terms. So k should be 1, 2, 3. So k starts from 0, 0, 1 and 2. See, the last term of k should be n minus 1. So what is n here? 3. So kth last term will be n minus 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. 2. So and after this we have to apply GP, right? Right. So we will see that in next slide. Before that, we have to know one thing. So if what is AP? What is GP, right? So if GP means what is the sum of the series? So if Sn represent the sum of the series in GP, right? So the formula is R or A multiplied by R power n minus 1 divided by R minus 1. We simply remember this, we will use it later, right? All right. So we know what we are going to do. We are here to find the nth root of unity. Unity means what? Unity means 1. So what is the nth root? 1 power 1 by n. Clear? Clear. So to do this, we need to follow 4 set of rules. What is it? First to write in polar form. Second to add 2k pi to the argument. Third, apply d mod v. Fourth, apply the value of k. Finally, we should use GP. What is the sum of the n elements in GP? Sn equals a multiplied by r power n minus 1 divided by r minus 1. Clear? Clear ga ardhamainda? Or else I have to repeat it once. Okay. Tell me more. Yes. So next what we are going to do is, so we know the 4 steps, right? What is the first step? Write in polar form. We are going to write in polar form. So what we have is 1 power 1 by n. We are going to write 1 in polar form, right? How we are going to write 1 in polar form? Is it difficult? I will show you a trick, right? Right. So it is arrogant plane, it is a real part, it's an imaginary part, right? Right. So 1 means, so for 4 simple numbers, we can write complex we can write easily in polar form. So what are they means? 1 minus 1, I minus I. For 4 of these, we can write easily in polar form, right? Right. If 1 means what when it comes, here it comes, right? Right. Minus 1, here it comes. Minus I, here it, and I here, right? Clear? Clear. So, what are the polar form for this? 1 means 1 comma 0. Minus 1 means minus 1 comma 0. I means I comma 0. Minus I means minus I comma 0. Clear? Clear. So we know this is angle 0 degree. It is 90 degree. We can represent it as pi by 2. And this is pi 180 degree. This is first part of a circle. See, we do this was. And to the bottom, it is opposite of this. So we have to do like this. And it should add a negative symbol, right? Right. It is 0 degree. It is pi. It is minus pi by 2. Clear? Clear. Now what we are going to do? We are going to apply polar form to this number easily. So what here? 1. So 1 means lies here. So here the polar form is 1 comma 0. So here the point is 1 comma 0. Right? Right. What is the angle lies here? What is the angle lies here? 0 degree. So we can simply write cos 0 plus I sin 0. Okay. So shall we check this? Yes. See, cos 0 is 1 plus I sin 0 is 0. So it will come 1. Clear? Clear. Similarly, so what is minus 1? Minus 1 lies here. So it will be minus 1 comma 0. So in which angle it lies? It is in pi. So we can write cos pi plus I sin pi. Okay. So for I lies where? So here it is I, right? So it is I comma 0. It lies on pi by 2. So we can directly write cos pi by 2 plus I sin pi by 2. Clear? And finally for minus I, it is minus I comma 0. It lies on minus pi by 2. So it is cos minus pi by 2 plus I sin minus pi by 2. So like this, we can easily write the polar forms for these four numbers. What we need, which number we need? We need is 1. So one's polar form is cos 0 degree plus I sin 0 degree. Shall we take? Yes. Okay. So we have I power 1 by n. So what's the first step? First step, first step ఏంటి? First step లో polar form లో write చేయాలి. Shall we write polar form లో write? What is polar form of 1? It is cos 0 plus I sin 0. It is not theta, it is 0, right? Power 1 by n. What is the second rule? Second rule ఏంటి? 2k pi add చేయాలి. To whom we have to add? To the angle we have to add 2k pi, right? So add 2k pi to the angle, right? So here what we have? Cos 0. So 2k pi plus 0 plus I sin 2k pi plus 0 power 1 by n. 0 plus anything is 0. So it will becomes cos, 0 plus anything is anything. So when we add 2k pi to the 0, we will have 2k pi. So it will be 2k pi plus I sin 2k pi power 1 by n. Right? Right. So what is the third rule? Third rule ఏంటి? Apply De Moivre's theorem. De Moivre's theorem లా apply చేయాలి. What is De Moivre's theorem? Cos theta plus I sin theta power n means we have to multiply the angle with the power. So it will becomes cos n theta plus I sin n theta. Clear? Okay. Now, what we are going to do is, we are going to multiply this angle with the power. Right? Right? Okay. So what we have? What we have is cos. So what is the angle here? 2k pi. What we have to multiply? We have to multiply with 1 by n. Right? Plus I sin 2k pi. What we have to multiply? 1 by n. Right? Right. So what we get? Cos 2k pi divided by n plus I sin 2k pi by n. So here what we will have? Cos theta plus I sin theta. Is there any other way to write this? Yes. Cos theta plus I sin theta equals cis theta. We can write this as cis theta. This means cos theta plus I sin theta, right? We are going to represent this here. So it is cis angle ఏంటి? Angle is 2k pi by n. Clear? Clear. So till now what we do is 1 power 1 by n. Excuse me. Any doubts? Okay. So we solved up to this, right? Right. Now what is the fourth rule? We can apply k's value. See, here now what we have? N. So the k's value will be from 0, 1, 2 up to n minus 1. Shall we write? Okay. The values are what we have to apply k equal to 0, right? In this, we have to apply k equal to 0. So what will comes? 0, right? So what is the second term? K equals 1. So 6, 2 pi by n. So what is 3? So it will becomes this. Already we have 2. So it will becomes 6. Okay, 2 3s are 6, 5 by n. And it goes on up to this, right? Right. So what we can do is we can take. Okay, sorry. So before that we have this is k equals 0, k equals 1, k equals 3. What about k equals 2? We just forgot about it. Okay. So now can write k equals 2, right? Right. So it will become this 4 pi by n and k equals 3 means this 6 pi by n and goes on like this, right? Right. What is the value of 0? It is sine cos 0 plus I sin 0. Cos 0 is 1 and I sin 0 is 0. So it will become 1. I can keep this as it is. So we can write this as this 2 pi by n power 2. See, when we apply d mod v, it will becomes, we have to multiply the power to the angle. It will becomes 2 multiplied by 2 pi by n means 4 pi by n. Likewise here too. This 2 pi by n power 3 and it goes like this. So what we are going to do is we are going to take this term is equals to omega. So omega equals this 2 pi by n. Shall we substitute this? So it will becomes the values are 1 comma omega, omega square, omega cube, and it goes on up to omega power n minus 1. So now we find actually what we did. We actually find the roots of the unity. So who are they? These are the roots of unity. So roots are, okay, we can write like this. Nth roots of unity are 1 comma omega squared comma omega cube and up to omega n power minus 1. So what we did, we actually find the nth root of unity. Clear? Clear. So what we are going to do? So next we are going to find some principle in this. What are they? So what we know, we can take it as a first thing. These are the roots of unity. What is the second thing? Second thing means omega power n equals 1. Right? Right. What is the another thing? So another thing is sum of the roots equals 0. So 1 plus omega square and up to omega power n minus 1 equals 0. Then what is the another thing? Product of the roots. What are the products? 1 multiplied by omega square and goes on up to omega power n minus 1 equals what? Minus 1 power n minus 1. Right? Right. And another thing, the given the roots, those we find are in GP, right? the roots are in GP. See, what is GP? If GP means if we divide a certain term by a previous term, the ratio will remain the same. See what will happen if we divide omega 3 by omega squared, we will get omega. So if we take these two things, if we divide omega squared by omega, what we will get? Again omega. So if we take these two things, omega divided by 1, omega. See, here the common ratio is omega. This ratio doesn't change throughout the series. So we can say the roots are in GP. Okay? Okay. So next what we are going to do is we are any doubts? Any doubts means you can type in a chat box or else you can unmute and ask. Right? Right. So what now we are going to do is we are going to prove these things before we can prove one by one. So we can start with this one, right? Omega power n equals 1. Okay, first proof omega power n equals 1. So we know what is omega. Omega is this. Omega is what? This 2 pi by n, right? This is omega. So omega power n equals 1, right? So for proving this, I'm going to take the left hand side and I'm going to substitute the value of omega and we will solve this one, right? Right. Now what we have to do? We have to do as De Morby. We are going to apply De Morby's theorem. De Morby's law apply cheyali. So what is De Morby's? Further we can expand this one. So it is cos 2 pi divided by n plus I sin 2 pi by n power n. Power n equals 1. So what is De Morby? De Morby and t. You have to multiply the power with the angle. We have to multiply the angle with the power. Right? Right. So cos 2 pi by n multiplied by n plus I sin 2 pi by n multiplied by n equals 1. So the n will get cancelled here too, n will get cancelled. So what we will have is cos 2 pi plus I sin 2 pi. Okay? Okay. So what is the value of cos 2 pi? Okay. It's difficult to find the value of cos and sin in pi. Maximum values of pi means we can easily draw a graph. It is a complete circle, right? Right. It is 0. It is pi by 2. It is pi. It is 3 pi by 2. And here comes it is 2 pi. Clear? Clear. So 0 and 2 pi are same. So cos 2 pi means cos 0. So what is cos 0? 1 plus I sin. Sin 2 pi means 0. So equals 1. So 1 equals 1. So now what we do is we prove that omega power n equals 1. So omega power n equals 1, right? Right. Shall we move to the next one? So what we have to prove next? The sum of the roots equals 0. Shall we prove that? Yes. So what are the sum of the roots? Any doubts, ma'am? What are the roots? So now we are going to find sum of the roots equals 0, right? Now we are going to prove this. So to prove this, I'm going to take the left-hand side, and we are going to solve this, and we are going to prove this as 0. So as I said, these are in GP, right? These are in GP. Okay. If these are in GP means what we can say, this is a sum, right? Now we are going to add all the roots. We know these roots are in GP. So sum of all this is, we can easily write under this formula. What is the formula? This one is the formula. So what is the A? A is the initial term, first term. ఇక్కడ ఏది first term 1. So A equals 1. So next R. So R is a common ratio. What is the common ratio here? Omega. Right? Shall we substitute these two in this? Yes. So we are going to add this entire term. To add this, we know this is the GP. And for this GP, we are using this formula. Clear? Clear. So in place of A, we have 1. In place of R, we have omega power n minus 1 divided by omega minus 1. Right? So what we already know as omega power n equals 1. Simply substitute here. Omega power n equals 1. So 1 multiplied by 1 minus 1 divided by omega minus 1. So 1 multiplied by 1 minus 1 is 0 divided by omega minus 1. Anything multiplied by 0 is 0. 0 divided by anything also is 0. So we can conclude these term is equal 0. Clear? Clear. So next what we are going to prove. So next thing is, so we are going to prove the product. The product of the roots is equals minus 1 power n minus 1. Shall we?
Hi.
Okay. Okay. So what are the products? What are the roots first? Omega 1, omega square, and it goes on up to omega power n minus 1. So what we have to prove, it should be equal to minus 1 power n minus 1, right? Right. See, here, this is normally, see the powers up here. So normally what we will do, it is omega square, omega power 4 means what we will do, the base is same. So we just add the power. So it is here 1, here 4, here 1, here 3, here 4. So 7, 1 plus 8. Like this we will do. Right? Right. So here already we have 1. 1 multiplied by anything is anything. So we can write, we are going to take this and we are going to prove this. So we can write, it goes on up to omega power n minus 1. So in this case, what we will do, the base is same. So we are just add the powers. Right? So 1 plus 2, it will goes on up to n minus 1. Is there any formula for this? Yes. So it is n multiplied by n minus 1 by 2. So we can simply write omega power n multiplied by n minus 1 by 2. So now we are going to substitute the value of omega. Omega is 2 pi by n power n multiplied by n minus 1 by 2. See, we are just going to apply D more V. D more V formulas apply cheyali. What is that? We are going to multiply the angle with power. So it is this. What is the angle? 2 pi by n multiplied by n multiplied by n minus 1 by 2. So n will cancel, 2 will cancel. What we get is 6 pi multiplied by n minus 1. Right? Now we are going to do what we are going to do. So we have this pi multiplied by n minus 1. So we can write it as this pi power n minus 1. So since these both are in multiplication, so we can write it. Right? Right. So what is the value of this pi? So it is cos pi plus I sin pi power n minus 1. So what is the value of cos pi minus 1? What is the value of sin pi? 0 power n minus 1. So it will end up with minus 1 power n minus 1. So now we prove that the product of the roots are equals minus 1 power n minus 1, right? Right. So now we can again note that what are the things we have to keep as a keynote in nth root of unity. What are the roots? What are the roots? The roots are 1 omega square, and it goes on up to omega power n minus 1. These are the roots. What is the value of omega? This 2 pi by n. Okay. So again, omega power n equals 1. And sum of the roots. It goes on up to omega power n minus 1 equals 0. And product of the roots equals minus 1 power n minus 1. Right? Right. So with the same thing, we are going to learn about cubic root of unity. See, here what we did, we see the nth root of unity. Now we are going to see about the cubic root of unity. Sorry, cube roots of unity. Okay. So here it is a nth root, right? Here it is a nth root. Here it is a cube root. What cube implies? Cube means 3. Here, so what we have to know, n is replaced by cube. So wherever we use n here, it will be replaced by 3 here, right? Right. Shall we do right? N here are replaced with 3. If we replace n in the nth root of unity with 3 means we can get cube root of unity, right? So what are the roots will be? So here it will end with omega power n minus 1. We know n is 3. So 3 minus 1 is 2. So it will end with omega square, right? So the roots are 1, omega and omega square, right? And omega equals this 2 pi. Here what we have n. N should be replaced with 3. And omega power 3 equals 1. Because omega power n equals 1, n should be replaced with 3. And sum of the roots equals 0. What are the roots here? 1 plus omega square equals 0. And the product of the roots, omega 1, omega square equals minus 1 power n minus 1. N is 3, 3 minus 1. So it is minus 1 power square. So it will be 1 multiplied by omega square equals 1, right? Right. We can simply say omega cube equals 1, right? Okay, whatever the thing may be, in case of nth root of unity, in case of cube root of unity, we have to consider 2 things. First, sum of the roots equals 0. Sum of the root equals 0. So omega power n equals 1, omega power 3 equals 1. And here the product of the root is equals minus 1 power n minus 1. Here the product of the roots equals 1. So this is nth root of unity, this is cubic root of unity. These are the key points we have to remember in this. Before solving a sum, we can get into a simulation so that you can imagine things clearly. Right? See here what we have a nth root of unity. See 1 is in square root of n, right? Right? What we have? So what we have here, it is. So what we have here is nth root of unity. Clear? Clear. Which is equals cos 2k pi by n plus I sin 2k pi by n, where k starts from the k will goes on up to, it will also contain 0, right? It will have to contain 0. 0, 1, 2, 3 up to n minus 1, right? Right. Okay. So now what we are going to do is, now we are going to see the third root of unity. See. So how the third root of unity comes? See, what is the unity? Unity is a unit circle. If we construct a triangle with the unity circle, see, it is a circle of unity. Within this, we take 3 points, right? If we take 3 points, means it will construct a triangle. So then it is called a third root of unity. So here we take complex number as z. So z power 3 equals 1. These are the 3 roots. Okay? Okay. Now, if you want to show, if you want to know the fourth root of unity means, we should have 4 points, right? Z1, Z2, Z3, and Z4, right? Right. So this is the fourth root of unity. So what is fourth root of unity means? We are going to take 4 points within the unit circle. Clear? Clear. Okay. And another thing. Here what we take. Okay. Okay, here what we have, z power n equals 1 and zn equals cos theta plus I sin t. Sorry, cos 0 plus I sin 0. Cos 0 plus I sin 0 means what? It is 1, right? Right. They add 2k pi to the angle and they apply de Moivre's and they are going to substitute the value of n. See, now we am going to take the value of n as 3, right? So what we will have? We have 3 points on the circle. What are the points? So they are cos 0 plus I sin 0, cos 2 by 3 pi plus I sin 2 pi by 3 again. Cos 4 pi by 3 plus I sin 4 pi by 3. What happens if I increase the value of n? If I increase the value of n means, what happens? The number of points taken within the circle increases. See, so what we can take is maximum 10 we can take. These are the, yes. Okay. These are the 10 complex numbers. These are the 10 roots of these unity. And see. So when n equals 10, we can take up to 0 to 9 points. And when n equals 7 means we can move up to k equals 6. So these are the complex points. Okay. Okay. So I hope everybody is clear Clear with the class. Any doubts? Okay. Clear గా అర్థమైందా? Okay. If any doubt means chat box లో టైప్ చేయండి లేదా అన్మ్యూట్ చేయి and ask చేయండి. Right. Any doubts? Any doubts? If you have any doubts, just unmute yourself and ask. Kindly turn on your camera so that I can see whether you understand or not. Okay. You can type in a chat box also. Okay, shall we move to a sum? A simple sum. So what is the sum means? 1 plus omega. 1 minus omega plus omega square power 6 plus 1 minus omega square plus omega power 6 equals 128. You have to prove this, right? So under a condition is given. F 1 comma omega square are the cube roots of unity, right? So what we are provided with? We are provided with the condition that 1 omega and omega square are the cube roots of unity, right? Right. What we have to prove? We have to prove this, right? Solution. So these are the cube roots of unity. So what we know is sum of these three is 0, right? Right. And 1 plus omega square equals what? We can simply take this omega to that side. So it will become minus omega, right? Right. And what we know, omega power 3 equals 1, right? Because it is the cube roots of unity, right? Now we are going to solve the sum. So what we have, 1 minus omega plus omega squared power 6 plus 1 minus omega squared plus omega power 6. See, what we already know is 1 plus omega squared equals 0. See here, for this one, I'm going to replace these two. So I'm going to keep these two things this side and I'm going to move this one to the another side. So what we will get? 1 plus omega squared equals minus omega, right? Right. So for here, I'm going to replace 1 and plus omega, right? Right. So if we keep this one and if you move the third one to this side, we will get the value of 1 plus omega. So 1 plus omega equals minus omega square. We are going to substitute these two this in the question, right? So what we have, so we are going to keep minus omega as it is, but we will remaining have 1 plus omega squared. 1 plus omega squared equals what? Minus omega power 6. Plus, we are going to keep minus omega square as it is. So in place of 1 plus omega, we are going to represent minus omega squared from this one, the power 6. Okay. So what is minus omega? Minus omega, so it will become minus 2 omega power 6. Plus here also minus 2 omega squared power 6. So I'm going to take this power inside. So it will become minus 2 power 6 omega power 6 plus minus 2 power 6 omega power 12. Clear? Clear. So from these two terms, I'm going to take minus 2 power 6 is common. So what we will have? Omega power 6 plus omega power 12. See, what we already know, what we solved. We solved is minus 2 power 6 multiplied by omega power 6 plus omega power 12. See, what we already know as omega power 3 equals 1. So what I am going to do is, I'm just going to rewrite omega 6 as omega 3 multiplied by omega 3. Right? So if we multiply this one, what we will get? Base is same, so we can add the power, but we will get omega power 6. Similarly, I'm going to write omega power 12 as omega power 3 multiplied by omega power 3, omega power 3 multiplied by omega power 3. So now I am going to substitute the one here. So minus 2 power 6. Here it is 1 multiplied by 1 plus for every 1 omega power 3 we will get 1. So it will be 1. So what is minus 2 power 6? It is 120. Sorry. It will be 64, right? So 64 multiplied by 1 plus 2. Sorry, 1 plus 1 is 2. So we will get 128. So I hope everybody is clear with the sum. Is there any doubts? Okay. So I completed the class. If any doubts means you can unmute and ask. Uh, is there any doubts? అవును చాట్ బాక్స్ లో టైప్ చేయాలి లేదా అన్మ్యూట్ చేసి యాక్ట్ చేయాలి. ఓకే. Okay, class. Thank you. We will meet in the next class. Okay, thank you.